Hello, my name is Minji Kim and I'm an 8th grader at North Gwinnett Middle School. For as long as I can remember, I called myself a Christian. I went to church every week and it was just a normal part of my life. But at some point, I began to realize something I couldn't ignore. Just because I called myself a Christian didn't mean I truly was one. I could only become a real follower when I accepted Jesus as my Lord and Savior. During that time of uncertainty, my faith felt distant and lukewarm. And even though everything on the outside was fine, inside I felt anxious. There was this emptiness in my heart, like I was searching for something, but I couldn't find it when what I was really searching for was God. Everything began to change at last year's winter retreat. In that moment, God planted a seed in my heart. I began to clearly see my sin, not just as mistakes, but things that were separating me from Him. And instead of ignoring it, I felt convicted and drawn back to God. Since then, Jesus has taken away so much of my anxiety and worry. Throughout middle school, I struggled to trust Him. I would spend more time worrying about my life than actually praying or reading His Word. But now, I'm learning to trust that His plan for me is good and perfect. I want to be someone who reflects Jesus, not just in words, but in the way I live. I want to have a bold faith, a faith that isn't hidden. Matthew 5:16 says, "In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father who is in heaven." Even though I'm not perfect, I want to keep growing, keep trusting, and keep following Him as I now declare Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kayla Mina Lee, and I am a 14-year-old 8th grade student at North Gwinnett Middle School. I grew up in a Christian household, but for most of my life, I didn't truly know God. Church was just a routine, and Jesus felt more like someone I was told to follow than someone I had a real relationship with. I worshiped on Sundays, but during the week, I barely thought about Him. I was stuck in a cycle of sin. Then everything began to shift at a youth retreat in that place. I experienced the powerful presence of God's Spirit, and for the first time, I realized that God is not distant. He is real, He is loving, powerful, and forgiving. Even after that, I struggled. I still relied on myself, my prayers didn't feel genuine, and I kept drifting. I doubted God and believed my failures would only disappoint Him. Then, one night, I decided to pray honestly. I asked God to speak to me, to show me that He was really there. Then, I opened my Bible. It landed on Psalm 138, verse 8. "The Lord will fulfill His purpose for me. Your steadfast love, O Lord, endures forever." And at that moment, I knew it wasn't a coincidence. I felt like God was speaking directly to me, that He had always been there with me, even when I ignored Him, even when I doubted Him, even when I chose my own way. And from that moment, something in my heart began to change. I started responding with love instead of anger, and I began seeking a real relationship with God and with others who follow Him. Now I am learning to walk with God, not just on Sundays, but in my everyday life. I am learning to live with love, to forgive others, and to trust in Jesus more as I accept Him as my Lord and Savior. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Yenny Yoon and I'm a 12th grader at North Gwinnett High School. Today I'm getting baptized because I want to give my life away to Jesus. I grew up knowing about God and having Him around me, but as I got older, I slowly began to drift away from Him. It was no longer my priority to be Christian, and I started focusing more on other people and other things and things that I wanted. There were moments when I almost got baptized before, but if I'm being honest, it wasn't for the right reasons. I thought about doing it because my friends were doing it or because it felt like something I was supposed to do. But every time I stepped back, because deep down I knew my heart wasn't ready for that yet. And looking back now, I'm really grateful for that. Because I come to realize that baptism isn't just a moment, it's a commitment. It's not something you do for others, but something you do when your heart truly belongs to God. Over time, I began to see how much I actually needed Him. The things I was chasing didn't really satisfy me, and the people I was depending on couldn't fill what was missing inside. And I'm truly grateful for that, and I realized that what I needed wasn't more of the world, I needed God. And now I'm ready. I'm ready to stop living for other people, and stop living for myself, and start living for the Lord. Today, I'm choosing to truly turn my life to the Lord and accept Him as my Savior, and this time for real. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Julia So, and I am a college student attending our church's EM service. I was first baptized when I was 10 years old, but I didn't really understand what baptism meant If I'm being honest, I got baptized because everyone else in Sunday school was doing it and I didn't want to be the only one left out. I've been attending church my whole life, but over time I began to question myself, am I coming to church to truly worship God, or am I just continuing a routine? That question became very real to me when I was 17. At that point in my life, I had everything I ever wanted. An amazing group of friends, joyful experiences, and so many of the things I wanted. God had blessed me in countless ways, yet instead of drawing closer to Him, I drifted further away. I ignored Him, fell into sin that I now deeply regret, and ultimately chose to live life my own way. Eventually, I lost everything I had once been given, and instead of turning to God, I blamed Him. I felt angry, frustrated, and confused. I questioned why He would allow this to happen to me. Looking back, I can't point to every single step that brought me back to God, but I know there was one moment He approached me powerfully in my life. During a youth retreat, I was serving on the praise team. One night during altar call, I couldn't fully participate because I was on stage, but as I looked at and saw others kneeling before God, something stirred in my heart. After the service ended and everyone began to leave, I stayed behind. That night, for the first time, I truly poured everything out before God. I didn't hold anything back. I was completely honest, even saying things I thought might offend Him. But instead of rejection, I experienced something I had never felt before. I felt peace. In that moment, I realized that God never pushed me away. He was always inviting me back. I laid down all my burdens before Him, and He carried them for me. As I move forward, I want to live a life that reflects Christ. I want to learn to forgive not only others, but also myself. And most importantly, to continually seek God and His grace. Today I stand here not because I have it all together, but because God never gave up on me. Thank you.